Welcome back, dragon enthusiasts. Today, we are delving deep into the highly anticipated first episode of House of the Dragon, the prequel to the legendary Game of Thrones. Brace yourselves as we unravel the gripping details of this captivating story. Set 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon takes us back to a time when the Seven Kingdoms were in turmoil, with a great council being called to choose a new heir. Among the contenders were Princess Rhaenys Velaryon and Prince Viserys Targaryen. After much deliberation, Viserys emerged as the chosen successor, setting the stage for the Targaryen dynasty's reign. Fast forward to the 9th year of King Viserys Targaryen's rule, and we find ourselves in a realm brimming with political tensions and power struggles. Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen and Lady Alicent Hightower pay a visit to Queen Aemma as they navigate the intricate web of alliances and loyalties. In a tense meeting, Prince Daemon Targaryen warns his niece, Princess Rhaenyra, of the potential treasonous nature of her actions. King Viserys' health becomes a matter of concern, as a deep, unhealed wound on his back troubles him. Prince Daemon, driven by his own ambitions, unleashes a wave of violence upon the citizens of King's Landing, leaving the city in fear. News of the attacks reaches the kingdom, leading to a confrontation between Prince Daemon and the Hand of the King, Sir Otto Hightower. Their clash hints at deeper tensions simmering beneath the surface. Amidst the chaos, Queen Aemma goes into labor, leading to a heart-wrenching choice for King Viserys: save the unborn child or leave it to fate. The consequences are devastating. The council raises concerns about the lack of a clear heir, fearing that Prince Daemon's claim to the throne may destabilize the realm. Unbeknownst to them, Prince Daemon eavesdrops on their discussions. The Game of Thrones intensifies as Sir Otto Hightower manipulates his daughter, Lady Alicent, into a secret meeting with King Viserys, setting in motion a series of events with far-reaching consequences. King Viserys confronts Prince Daemon, accusing him of celebrating recent deaths. Their heated exchange reveals deep-seated tensions and a shocking revelation. In the closing moments of the episode, King Viserys passes on a cryptic secret to Princess Rhaenyra, the impending doom of a terrible winter, known as a Song of Ice and Fire. She is entrusted with carrying this burden. In Episode 2, tensions rise as Viserys discovers that 4 ships have been lost, igniting fury in Corlys, who demands action. However, Rhaenyra's idea to send dragon riders is quickly dismissed. Meanwhile, Alicent strikes up personal conversations with Viserys, who expresses his desire to keep their talks secret from Rhaenyra. Alicent then offers comfort to Rhaenyra, who mourns her mother's death. As the vulnerable crown becomes a concern, Corlys and Rhaenys propose that Viserys marry their daughter, Lady Laena Velaryon. Seeking advice, Viserys consults Sir Otto, who remarks that Laena is young. Worried about Rhaenyra's reaction, Viserys is assured by his followers that her opinion doesn't matter. However, when Viserys meets Laena, his concerns about her youth are verified, as she is revealed to be just 12 years old. In a private moment, Rhaenys confides in Rhaenyra, expressing her discomfort with the forced match between Laena and Viserys. Rhaenys doubts Rhaenyra's ability to become queen, believing that society will never accept a woman on the Iron Throne. Alicent continues her attempts to woo Viserys by showering him with gifts. However, Viserys is soon interrupted and informed that Daemon has stolen a dragon's egg, taken control of Dragonstone, and amassed an army. Learning that the stolen egg was the one Rhaenyra had chosen for Balon's cradle, Viserys decides to bring Daemon to justice. But, aware of the danger, he is forced to stay put. Shortly after, Sir Otto confronts Daemon, demanding he leave Dragonstone and abandon his lover. However, Daemon refuses, showcasing his power by flying his dragon above them. Just as tensions rise, Rhaenyra swoops in on her own dragon, ready to challenge Daemon. She threatens him, but he doesn't take the bait. Surprisingly, there is no battle. Instead, Rhaenyra returns the dragon egg to its rightful place. Daemon then speaks with his wife, revealing her past of living in terror and expressing her desire for a different future. Viserys, upon learning that Rhaenyra defied him by going to Dragonstone, tries to scold her, but their conversation shifts to Aemma's death. He confesses the need to remarry for the family's safety. In the closing moments of the episode, Viserys shocks everyone by announcing his intention to marry Alicent. This causes Corlys to explode with anger, and Princess Rhaenyra storms out in frustration. Instead of taking the high road, Corlys seemingly turns against Viserys, meeting with Daemon. In Episode 3 of House of the Dragon, we witness a significant time jump of 3 years. Viserys and Alicent now have a son, and are expecting another child. However, the joyous atmosphere is marred by an attack in another location, casting a shadow over the celebrations. Rhaenyra, feeling distant and detached, avoids the festivities altogether. Alicent, now the queen, seeks out Rhaenyra, only to find that their once close friendship has withered away. This tension extends to Rhaenyra's relationship with her father, Viserys. Amidst the turmoil, Lord Jason Lannister introduces himself to Rhaenyra. Viserys, believing that Rhaenyra has come of age, insists that she must marry. However, Rhaenyra vehemently expresses her desire not to wed, leading to a heated argument between them in front of a room full of people. Filled with anger, Rhaenyra storms off on her horse, followed by Criston, who playfully offers to kill her father. Meanwhile, Viserys remains resolute in his decision to declare Rhaenyra as his heir. However, Alicent keeps a watchful eye on him, harboring her own ambitions. Refusing to return home, Rhaenyra and Criston find themselves in the woods, contemplating whether the realm will accept her as their queen. Their conversation is interrupted by a mysterious noise, prompting Criston to investigate. Suddenly, a wild creature attacks them, but they manage to fend it off, with Rhaenyra displaying a hint of madness. It is said that every time a Targaryen is born, the world holds its breath, unsure of their destiny. In a moment of vulnerability, Viserys confides in Alicent, expressing regret over his strained relationship with Rhaenyra since her mother's death. Alicent, acting as the perfect queen and wife, is informed that her son, Aegon, must ascend to the throne. She is urged to sway Viserys towards this truth, and it appears that the words stay with her. During their next encounter, Alicent questions Viserys about his aid to a certain request, as mentioned in a letter he received. Viserys explains that pleasing one person often angers another. Rhaenyra and Viserys clash again when he attempts to arrange a marriage for her into House Casterly Rock. He maintains that he has no intention of replacing Rhaenyra as his heir, but insists that she must marry to strengthen her claim. However, he allows Rhaenyra the freedom to find her own match. The episode concludes with Daemon continuing to work with Corlys, and Viserys receiving news that greatly upsets him. In a fit of rage, he attacks those around him. Meanwhile, a voiceover from Viserys reveals his decision to send help to Daemon and his heartfelt prayers for his safe return. We then see Daemon sailing on a boat before arriving at a land populated by the dead. He captures the attention of the residents by placing a white flag down and awaits their response. Suddenly, Daemon stabs one of the men, triggering a violent rampage that results in the deaths of several others. As he finds himself surrounded and under attack, a dragon appears, engulfing the assailants in flames. Daemon manages to escape with a half-corpse in tow, as the bloodshed continues. Episode 4. Princess Rhaenyra finds herself unimpressed by the men and children offering their hand in marriage. She rejects them all, and decides to sail across the sea to reunite with her father, Viserys, and her brother, Daemon. Daemon, who now calls himself the King of the Narrow Sea, presents Viserys with another sword for the Iron Throne. Surprisingly, Daemon announces that he knows there is only one true king and humbly bends his knee to Viserys. Viserys accepts his offer, and for now, it seems to be a happy family reunion. However, tensions still linger, as Alicent, who is trying to have a meaningful conversation with Rhaenyra, mentions how lonely she is. This breaks the ice between them, but there is still an underlying unease. As the celebrations continue, Alicent struggles to calm her baby, while Viserys learns that Corlys harbors damaged pride from Viserys, rejecting his daughter in favor of Alicent. Rhaenyra, on the other hand, encounters an older woman who asks if she wants to know her death, and as she asks, a dragon statue breathes out fire, leaving Rhaenyra startled. Later on, Rhaenyra and Daemon watch a play that mocks their family's tragedies, and during the night, they engage in a sexual relationship, revealing a new incestuous bond. However, after Daemon deserts Rhaenyra, she seeks comfort in Criston, whom she kisses and has sex with. The episode takes a dramatic turn when Viserys receives disturbing news from Sir Otto about Rhaenyra and Daemon being seen together in a pleasure den. Alicent overhears the conversation, and Viserys, disturbed by the news, warns Sir Otto to leave. Alicent confronts Rhaenyra, questioning her involvement with her uncle. Rhaenyra denies the claims but admits to being in the pleasure den. Daemon is brought before Viserys, who is furious and blames him for ruining Rhaenyra. In a surprising twist, Daemon offers to marry Rhaenyra in exchange for giving Viserys the crown. However, Viserys refuses and insists Rhaenyra marry Ser Lenor Velaryon. Alicent defends Rhaenyra, stating it is not in her nature to be deceitful. Viserys reminds Rhaenyra of the secret they both know, a secret larger than themselves, and orders her to marry Ser Lenor without argument. Rhaenyra agrees but demands that Viserys takes care of Sir Otto. In a private meeting with Sir Otto, Viserys reflects on how the once insignificant man has become one of the most powerful beings in just 5 days. He confesses that he can no longer trust Sir Otto's judgments and takes away his key. Rhaenyra is then handed a tea made from the key, which supposedly rids her of any unwanted consequences. In the 5th episode of House of the Dragon, tensions rise as Daemon meets with his wife and uses his powers against her when she criticizes him. It is strongly implied that he kills her off-screen, adding a dark twist to their relationship. Meanwhile, Alicent argues with her father and defends Rhaenyra, hinting at the brewing conflict within the Targaryen family. Viserys, the current king, begins to fall ill, and during a meeting with Corlys, a suggestion is made that Rhaenyra's potential children with Lenor should not carry the Targaryen name. This sparks a disagreement, as Viserys strongly opposes the idea. Corlys later confides in his wife, expressing bitterness over her missed opportunity to become queen. Complicating matters further, it is revealed that Rhaenyra's potential future husband, Lenor, is gay, setting the stage for relationship drama. As they sail across the seas, Criston, a loyal ally of Rhaenyra, proposes that she abandon her claim to the throne and flee with him. However, Rhaenyra sees herself as the embodiment of the crown and rejects his offer, leading to a heated argument and potential strain on their relationship. Back in the kingdom, Alicent confronts Criston about Rhaenyra's relationship with Daemon, but to her surprise, Criston confesses that he has been involved with Rhaenyra himself. Fearing torture, he requests to be sentenced to death. The tension between the characters reaches new heights as secrets are revealed and loyalties are tested. The episode reaches a dramatic climax during a dinner held in honor of Rhaenyra and Laenor's future wedding. Accusations are made against Daemon by his deceased wife's cousin, and he boldly claims everything that belonged to his late wife as his own. Viserys, witnessing this unfold, is horrified by the revelation. As the dinner progresses, Lenor discovers that Rhaenyra is sleeping with Criston, and tensions escalate. Viserys, weakened by illness, watches their intense exchange from a distance. Suddenly, chaos erupts as a fight breaks out, resulting in the death of Sir Joffrey at Criston's hands and Viserys suffering a severe injury. In a shocking turn of events during Rhaenyra and Laenor's wedding ceremony, Criston attempts to take his own life but is stopped by Alicent. The episode concludes with Viserys collapsing, leaving his fate uncertain and setting the stage for further turmoil within the Targaryen dynasty. In episode 6 of House of the Dragon, the story takes a leap in time as we witness the older Rhaenyra giving birth to a baby boy named Joffrey. However, her joy is short-lived as Queen Alicent demands to see the baby immediately after delivery. Despite the pain, Rhaenyra takes Joffrey to Alicent with the help of Ser Lenor. Meanwhile, we learn that Rhaenyra and Ser Lenor's commander, Sir Harwin, is likely the father of Joffrey. Alicent tries to reason with Viserys that Rhaenyra's children are not Ser Lenor's, but Viserys seems uninterested in listening. Only Criston, the guard of Alicent's quarters, believes Alicent's claims. As Aegon enjoys a moment of self-pleasure, his mother interrupts him and expresses her concerns about Rhaenyra's future challenges to his claim to the throne. It becomes evident that Aegon and Rhaenyra may face a fierce battle for power. Prince Daemon and Lady Laena are now married, but they prefer being guests rather than taking up responsibilities. However, Laena, who is pregnant, desires their children to live according to their birthright. Sir Harwin faces accusations for his relationships with Rhaenyra, and it is made clear that if the truth about him being the father of her children comes out, it would be disastrous for them all. Sir Lenor's drunken behavior annoys Rhaenyra, and she reminds him that he cannot abandon his family now as the heir to the throne. The seemingly happy marriage between Daemon and Laena takes a turn as it becomes apparent that Daemon still has feelings for Rhaenyra, which Laena is aware of. During a council meeting, Rhaenyra attempts to establish a friendship with Alicent by proposing that their children rule together. However, Alicent rejects the offer, believing Rhaenyra is acting out of desperation. Alicent's stress levels rise, and she fears that no one in King's Landing will support her cause. In a desperate move, one of her supporters silences prisoners by removing their tongues in exchange for mercy. Laena struggles to give birth, and despite Daemon's stern presence, the child refuses to come. In a shocking turn of events, Laena chooses to burn herself to death in front of Daemon. One of Rhaenyra's sons questions his legitimacy, adding to the already tense atmosphere. The following day, Rhaenyra informs her husband that they are leaving King's Landing, but allows him to bring his lover along. The episode concludes with Rhaenyra and her family departing the city, leaving behind a burning ruin. Alicent finds herself caught in the middle of the chaos, wondering if she has made a deal with the devil. Episode 7 begins with Lady Laena's somber funeral, attended by Daemon, Rhaenyra, Viserys, and all of Lady Laena's loved ones. However, something seems off during the ceremony. Alicent's son, Aegon, appears incredibly bored. Later, when Viserys offers his condolences to Daemon, he storms away, clearly troubled by something. Meanwhile, tensions rise as Corlys and Rhaenys engage in a heated argument. Corlys is desperate to reclaim the throne, but Rhaenys seems to have given up on that dream long ago. Their disagreement sets the stage for some intense conflicts to come. Rhaenyra and Daemon find solace by the sea, where they open up to each other. Rhaenyra reveals that her marriage has always been a facade, but being named heir has made her embrace the burden. They discuss Alicent, and surprisingly, Rhaenyra defends her, stating that she doesn't believe Alicent is capable of murder. However, the conversation takes an unexpected turn when Rhaenyra criticizes Daemon for abandoning her. This leads to a passionate encounter between the two. Meanwhile, tensions escalate among Aemond and his cousins when he claims Laenor's dragon as his own. The argument turns physical, and Aemond ends up getting a brutal slash to his eye. This incident sets the stage for further family drama. The loss of Aemond's eye causes quite a stir within Alicent's family. While the rest of the family is distraught, Daemon seems to revel in the chaos. Alicent accuses Rhaenyra's son of attempting to kill Aemond, but Rhaenyra argues that it all stemmed from Aemond's constant insults, branding them as bastards. The situation takes a serious turn when Aemond reveals that he heard these claims from Aegon. Aegon casually admits that the claims are true, implying that the parentage of some family members is questionable. Viserys steps in and demands an end to the fighting, but Alicent wants justice and demands one of Rhaenyra's son's eyes in return. Frustrated by Viserys' lack of action, Alicent takes matters into her own hands. She orders Criston to bring her the Eye of Lucerys. However, Viserys refuses to allow it, and warns that anyone who questions parentage will face severe consequences. Alicent, driven by anger and vengeance, grabs a knife and charges towards Lucerys and Rhaenyra. The two women face off against each other, and in the heat of the moment, Alicent slashes Rhaenyra's hand. Shocked by her own actions, Alicent backs away. Aemond steps forward, seemingly unaffected by the chaos, and tells his mother not to mourn him as he has gained a dragon. In the aftermath of this violent confrontation, Alicent's father, Sir Otto, pays her a visit. He admits that he has never seen this side of her before, and recognizes her determination to win the game. Sir Otto advises her to seek forgiveness from Viserys, assuring her that they will eventually prevail. Alicent takes his advice, and attempts to apologize to Viserys, but he refuses to speak. Is he too ill, or is there something more behind his silence? Meanwhile, Rhaenyra seeks Daemon's help in solidifying her claim to the throne. She asks him to bind their blood, which would strengthen her position. However, Daemon reminds her that they cannot marry unless her current husband is dead, a fact she is well aware of. In a shocking twist, Daemon hatches a plan for Laenor's death. In the final moments of the episode, Laenor is shown dead, his body thrown into a fiery pit. The sight of their son's lifeless body sends Corlys and Rhaenys into a fit of grief-stricken screams. Rhaenyra and Daemon, believing their plan has worked, prepare to be married. Or so they think. The episode concludes with a jaw-dropping revelation. Laenor is still alive. Episode 8. We dive into a world of intrigue, betrayal, and impending doom. As the episode begins, we learn that Rhaenys, who hasn't seen her husband Corlys in 6 long years, is reunited with him. However, their happiness is short-lived as tensions arise when Daemon takes a dragon's egg, leading to Rhaenyra having a conversation with her children, Joffrey and Jacaerys. The plot thickens when Rhaenyra and Daemon discover that Rhaenys has made a claim against the legitimacy of Rhaenyra's children. Rhaenys believes that Rhaenyra orchestrated her son's death to marry Daemon. This revelation sets the stage for a confrontation between the two factions, as Rhaenyra and Daemon arrive as guests in King's Landing, much to the displeasure of Alicent and Otto. Things take a dark turn when Rhaenyra visits her ailing father, King Viserys, who appears to be rotting away. After introducing her latest child to him, Viserys weakens and asks for tea. However, Daemon senses something amiss with the tea, and realizes that it's laced with something dangerous. Meanwhile, Alicent manipulates a serving girl, who has been taken advantage of by Aegon. Rather than punishing the prince, she coerces the girl into silence, and rewards her with coins and tea. The girl mysteriously disappears, leaving us wondering if the tea caused her demise, or if she fled with the coins. Tensions rise as Alicent, Rhaenyra, and Daemon come face to face, their reunion filled with animosity and bitterness. Rhaenyra then meets with Rhaenys, vehemently denying any involvement in her son's death. However, she proposes an offer to back Luke, ensuring her granddaughter becomes queen. Is this a genuine gesture, or a desperate attempt to regain favor? In a heart-wrenching moment, Rhaenyra confesses to her father that the burden of being the heir is too heavy for her. She implores him to defend her if he wants her to continue. As the night progresses, Viserys grows weaker, and the severity of his illness becomes apparent. The episode reaches its climax when Viserys, too ill to sit on the throne, is replaced by Otto, who takes charge of the meeting. The accusations against Rhaenyra and her children's bloodline are laid bare. However, just as Rhaenyra begins her defense, a weakened Viserys interrupts and decides to reclaim the throne himself. This turn of events seems to favor Rhaenyra, but it spells trouble for everyone else. Viserys questions why settled successions are being challenged, and swiftly restores Rhaenyra's claim to the throne. This decision infuriates Vaemond, who expresses his outrage, only to have half his head chopped off by Daemon. During a tense dinner, Viserys removes his gold mask, revealing his decaying body, with an eye missing. He emphasizes the importance of unity for the crown's strength. Rhaenyra acknowledges Alicent's unwavering support for Viserys and expresses her gratitude, leading to Alicent raising her cup to Rhaenyra, acknowledging her as a worthy future queen. Just as it seems the feud is settling, Viserys watches his family members socialize, but his deteriorating health forces his guards to carry him away. The calm atmosphere is shattered when Aemon delivers a speech that nearly incites a family fight. In the final moments of the episode, Alicent gives Viserys more tea while he lies in bed. In a mumbled conversation, Viserys shares a cryptic message with Alicent, suggesting that Aegon's dream, the Song of Ice and Fire, is true, and that she must fulfill it. Alicent acknowledges his words and departs. The episode ends with the looming possibility of Viserys' demise. This episode is filled with shocking revelations, intense confrontations, and a growing sense of impending tragedy. The power dynamics within the Targaryen family are shifting, and the consequences are sure to be devastating. Episode 9. We witness the shocking aftermath of the king's death, and the repercussions it has on the realm. Alicent, the Queen Mother, is devastated by the loss, but keeps it a secret for now. She confides in her father about Viserys' last wish for Aegon to be king, but not everyone believes her. This leads to a heated argument, resulting in Kristen unintentionally killing a man. Seeking to protect her sons, Alicent decides that Rhaenyra, Viserys' eldest daughter, must be locked up. Meanwhile, Rhaenys, another daughter of Viserys, remains unaware of her father's demise, and criticizes Alicent for her mistreatment in King's Landing. In a heart-wrenching moment, Alicent reveals Viserys' death to Rhaenys, hoping to gain her support in ensuring Aegon's ascension to the throne. However, Rhaenys surprises her by urging Alicent to imagine herself on the Iron Throne. Amidst the family power struggles, Aegon and his brother Aemond argue over who deserves the crown. Aegon emerges as the more determined of the two, showing his ambition for the throne. Finally, at a grand assembly led by Otto, the truth is revealed. Viserys is dead, and Aegon is proclaimed a new king. The coronation is a moment of triumph for Alicent, who watches with joy as her son is crowned. But the happiness is short-lived, as a dragon suddenly appears in the sky. Is it Rhaenyra seeking revenge? No, it's Rhaenys. Alicent braces herself for the inevitable, believing that she and Aegon are about to be burned by the dragon. However, Rhaenys surprises everyone by having her dragon roar and fly away. In episode 10, the finale, Rhaenyra and Daemon discussing the shocking news of the Hightower betrayal. However, their suspicions deepen when Rhaenys, who has just committed a brutal act of violence, brings the news of Viserys' death. Tragedy strikes as Rhaenyra experiences a tragic miscarriage, intensifying her grief. The funeral scene is heartbreakingly bleak, showcasing Rhaenyra's anguish, gentleness, and determination. But amidst the sorrow, a coronation takes place, as Rhaenyra gains the loyalty of defectors who pledge their allegiance to her. Unfortunately, the middle stretch of the episode is dedicated to plotting and alliances, which can be a bit tedious. The show's insular focus on the Targaryens leaves us longing for more exploration of the wider world-building in the other houses. However, it's good to see the return of Corlys Velaryon, who surprisingly accepts Daemon's violent actions. His bond with Rhaenys is both compelling and mildly bewildering, considering the tragic events that have transpired. As the episode progresses, it becomes clear that Rhaenyra must reject her hopes for peace and embrace the inevitable war. Jace suggests accompanying Luke to convince the Lords directly, while Rhaenyra sends her eldest to the Arryn Winterfell, while the younger goes to Storm's End. As messengers. Upon reaching Baratheon Castle, Luke finds his uncle Aemond there, who has promised to marry one of Baratheon's daughters, conflicting with Luke's betrothal. Baratheon refuses to support Rhaenyra and orders Luke to leave, but Aemond demands his eye as payment for a past debt. A confrontation is avoided as Baratheon intervenes and sends Luke to the Dragon Racks. Tragedy strikes once again, as little Lucerys meets a heartbreaking fate, leading to a tense and gripping chase scene between Aemond and Luke on their dragons. In a departure from the source material, the chase sequence showcases the avoidable nature of the impending war. Above the clouds, as the storm clears, the boys lose control of their dragons, resulting in Vhagar killing Luke and his dragon. The look on Aemon's face reveals that it was not his intention to kill his nephew, but the damage is done. Daemon, who has spent the episode in tears on a beach, relays the devastating news to Rhaenyra. In a powerful moment, she retreats briefly before turning around to stare down the camera, her eyes filled with determination and readiness for the war that lies ahead. And with that, the first season of House of the Dragon comes to a close. Rhaenyra prepares to lead her forces into war, setting the stage for what promises to be an epic second season. Thank you for joining us on this House of the Dragon recap. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more updates and discussions about your favorite shows. Until next time, stay tuned for more exciting adventures in the world of Westeros.